Go.
Welcome to Cognitions, Speaking the Unspeakable with JP
and Stacy D.
I'm JP Craddock, and I am here with the wonderful Stacy D Love. We are broadcasting here on KUAW Radio, which stands for Knowledge, Understanding,
and Wisdom. Hopefully once you get on the 5th floor.
Do you hear echo?
We were gonna try to be real professional and not speak on that.
Everybody can hear that.
How
it's
you know?
Really
Haven't
bad.
nobody even text you or anything?
Everybody can hear that echo. See, the D, you always want me to be quiet about these things, and then I get text messages later. Why didn't y'all fix that problem?
That's because the professor was here late.
Late because you locked him out the building.
We on 31st Street, and my thing is in the car.
Oh, D, what's up? What's your check-in for today?
Mr. Walker, have you got that pulled up yet?
No, wait a minute. I'm trying to get this echo down first.
Oh, he's trying to get the echo down. Hey,
wait a minute.
let's come together, and we just always just fellowship, play games. You know, that's a new thing going on now.
Right.
Kick it, people get drunk and everything. Well,
Wait
we
a minute.
always play games and stuff, huh?
Ain't nothing new about playing games. People been playing games. What y'all play? Monopoly, Life,
They be playing some other.
Dominoes, Spades.
We didn't do that when I was a kid.
Y'all played Spades and Dominoes. Y'all was slapping bones.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yes, that goes.
So
all
it's
the way
been going
back.
on forever and ever.
They was
huh?
slapping bones on the plantation, D.
Sure was. So it was something different.
that on.
They was playing something on the plantation.
The professor's like, it was slapping going on the plantation.
But not
it
bones.
wasn't bones. All right, go ahead, D. Go ahead.
So we had some dance contests with the kids and dance contests with the adults, and they was trying to bring me out of retirement. They did the good knee challenge.
You dropped it like, you dropped it.
I beat the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, and the 40-year-olds.
Now, hold on, D. Was this you dropping it like it was hot, or did you do some new school twerk?
I did new school twerk.
First thing you need to know how to pronounce it. Hold on.
We done got older and forgot how to speak about it.
She tried to keep up with these young gals, okay? But you need to know what it's called. Because back in the day,
we just call it dropping like it's hot.
You were just dropping it like it was hot.
Dropping
Twerking
like
came after you retired.
Yeah, and actually, I do not know how to twerk.
Yes, you do.
No, and they need to be glad because all this booty is maximum I have. I'll be in every contest it is.
But D, here's what I want you to think about. What you were doing back in the day was much more difficult than twerking because you was dropping everything
and then
like
bringing it back up,
bouncing all the way back up, which D, would you? Oh Lord Jesus. Which is why your knees are messed up.
Yeah.
See, the young girls are twerking because they don't have to drop all the way to the ground. Just move your booty. See, and that's why you need to be twerking. I can't believe we're having this conversation.
Well, the thing about it is that they were measuring us and see how long we could stay low to the ground.
What's this limbo twerking?
I guess it was. So at the end of the day, I won.
Really?
And I got my little prize. I actually got a trophy. So I got a trophy, I got bragging rights, and I got $100. And I was cool. And so then I sit back down because I was tired, but I couldn't let nobody know I was tired.
Money was involved.
Yeah, $100.
Oh, good. Good.
So I sit down. And then I was like, well, hell, I'm tired. So I told my daughter, my baby girl, the one that lives with me, that won't never leave. I told her and her daughter, I'm like, okay, y'all tired? Because let's go home because, we got to get up in the morning and finish cooking for Christmas brunch.
Oh, brunch. Y'all do brunch?
Yeah, we do brunch. No, we just do brunch.
I finna say, so Christmas dinner is early in the day. Well, then everybody does brunch. Doesn't everybody eat Christmas dinner early, like 3, 4?
I eat Thanksgiving at 12.
Well, yeah, because you cooking so much food that you can't wait till 5 o'clock to have dinner. You eat when it's done, and you.
But I'm up all night. Yeah,
that's why.
But with Christmas, we have Christmas brunch. Christmas brunch is served at 12 o'clock. I'm ready to eat.
The
at 12.
whole meal.
The whole meal is done at 12. But I done cook. I done prep for 2 days.
That's something.
Yeah, it's a labor of love. That's what I call it.
Labor of love.
Dang, I forgot your bread pudding. I'm sorry.
You did that on purpose because you wrong.
No, and I saved it for you. I'm going to have to bring it to your house because I put it in a Tupperware dish. I got your rum sauce for it and everything.
When we schedule to get together with our girl, let's do it. I know that you do not like what I'm about to do. The echo is so bad, it's giving me a headache.
Just close your eyes. Well,
Mr.
take your
Walker.
stuff down. Take your earphones off then.
Yeah, so let me know if you can still hear me okay. I just want to be able to hear you as well.
The headphones don't do no hearing?
Yes, they do. Can I be heard okay in there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It's just
Okay, I'm going to take mine
messing
off
with my
too, then.
audio because it's bad.
Okay, so we can hear each other. So, hey, this is how we used to do it before we try to get out of Hollywood. Okay, I'm not done with my check-in.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so I was like, okay, you guys, let's leave and go home because, we got to get up early in the morning, because I get up like at 5 and start cooking because I got to serve at 12 because we got to prep the house and everything, get the burners out and, all that.
Oh, yeah.
Boy,
You ain't trying to serve cold food.
No, that's not cool.
That is not cool. Keep everything warm.
Yeah, so we're walking out to the car. I'm walking in the car. I open the door. I get in the car and falls in the car. I can't get my left leg in the car.
Is that because of the ice?
Hell no, that's because of me. Good knee challenge. The left knee's not a good knee no more.
No, that wasn't a knee challenge. That was you dropping it too much.
Lie. So, mind you, it was terrible on Sunday morning with me cooking. It was bad. We had to go get a stool, and I had to prop myself on the stool and cook over the stove. It was really, really bad. It was bad sleeping that night. It was bad.
Okay, here's something to think about. This is not the first time you injured yourself trying to come out of retirement from dropping it like it's hot.
They be challenging.
Twerking. Okay, D.
Yes.
You competing with these young girls.
I need to stretch before I start dropping it.
How do you stretch your knee? You can't stretch your knee.
Well, I'm going to start doing something.
You got old knees.
My granddaughter said she's going to buy me a leg stretcher.
You need a brace. You need a knee brace.
Wait a minute, I've been smelling like Bengay icy hot. I smell just like my great grandparents.
Listen,
for about 4 days.
You're gonna be the only person dropping it like it's hot with a knee brace.
I couldn't even use the bathroom. I mean, like my daughter and granddaughter had to come and help me up off the toilet.
It was
real bad.
A cane, a walker, a knee brace.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that is so funny. D, you really need to go back into retirement because since you came out of retirement, it does not go. You keep winning, but look at what it's costing.
I know. I've been messed up since Saturday night. Today was the first day I've been really able, because I have a split level house, so I couldn't go upstairs or downstairs. I just had to stay on that one level. Thank the Lord, my bedroom, the kitchen, and all that's on that one level.
Why didn't the kids help with the cooking?
The only person help is the baby girl. The other daughter don't help. It's me, my granddaughter.
Did you teach all the kids? Where'd we go? Did you teach all the kids how to cook? We're gone.
Well, no, we're still on. Stop. I keep telling you, we're trying to be more professional. We have to ignore some of the things. That's the reason why everyone, that's the reason why I'm on this side this week, so I can ignore the professor when he leaves out, because it's to my back.
You've done a little better with that, though. But the professor tries to sabotage your ADHD symptoms by going to the door
and waving
and trying to get your attention and distract. Even a person who does not have ADHD would be distracted by somebody walking out of the studio waving, and this the professor with you. Professor,
come on. With you and you don't say nothing.
Whoa! You blocking the heat.
Cause I don't have ADHD, so I'm able to ignore all of that.
Oh, he got the good knee challenge up. Everybody, let's give 5 seconds to the good knee challenge. Whoa, is that me? Whoa, I think that's me.
I gotta see if I can get it moved.
There it go, right there, y'all.
Oh, wait a minute. Was that you on the floor?
It almost looked like me because I had on a green outfit like that. The green and the red, I was an elf.
You could not have been on the floor like that.
Yes, I was.
And y'all posted this on...
But that's not me, but it did look like me. See how you got to do it? Do you have it on there?
For our listeners who are listening on the radio or smart speakers, Alexa, you need to see this. Pull this up on Facebook.
That was me right
later.
there. I was putting my legs together. And I was dropping it like it's high. Then I smack it. Yeah.
That is...
It's the good knee challenge.
For everybody's knees.
That's why it's called the good knee challenge.
Called the good knee challenge.
And
so it
my
wasn't a drop it like it's hot contest.
No, not really. But I was
you
still
turned
dropping
it into that.
I still was dropping it. But I was lower than everyone.
The D. Listen. Why would you?
Look, you see how that was getting out?
Listen.
That was falling down. It's all about the knees and the toes. The knees and the toes.
But hold on a minute. And the professor, Mr. Walker, can attest to this. We have talked about your bad knees on the show. Why would you even participate in something that had the word knee in it?
Because the little young girls be like trying to mess with me.
That whole
they be like,
thing
Auntie, are you gonna get in it? Auntie, are you gonna get in it? Or are you done now? Are you done, Auntie? I was like, Auntie ain't never done.
This is, you know what? This is like when my nephew challenges me to run 5K.
5K, and
I end up at the doctor's office 3-4 times before the 5K. Yeah, like I'll kill myself to win a 5K.
So maybe we both need to retire.
I'm retiring from that.
I think
and you need to retire from anything that's called the good knee challenge, because you need to have good knees to do that challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I've been wrapped up, knee brace, being gay, icy hot, can't sleep, got to sleep with a pillow up underneath my knee. Oh, it's been real bad.
Yeah, they were trying to put you back into retirement. Mm-hmm. That's why they
but then they got mad when I won. Yeah, they were very upset when I won.
But that looked intense. All right, here's my check-in. Before I get to my check-in, because I want you to be prepared for our question of the day. Coming up at the half-hour mark, we got our question of the day, which is, my husband gets angry and then shuts down or walks out.
Turn it down.
D, the microphone's picking that up. See, that's why you need.
How do you know? How do you know? Because you can hear.
I know. Because if we had them on, I'd have been able to hear that. Even without them on, I know it. Watch and see. Are you going to listen to the question of the day?
Yes.
My husband gets angry and then shuts down or walks out. How can I get him to face up to our issues instead of running away? Even sitting over there, you refuse to control your symptoms.
Mr. Walker's over here messing with me.
You refuse to control.
The engineer is over here messing with stuff. I got this under control. He was calling me. You just told him stop beeping. It's coming through the microphone. But he won't come up here. That took the heat from me. I cannot work under these conditions. I can't work under these conditions. Where's my agent?
This is why I have to go into YouTube and pull clips from the show to cut out all this ridiculousness. This is the reason why. And it's very time consuming. D, stay focused. Now you got the professor creeping up on you.
Mr. Walker, just say, what are you
Professor
doing?
got something to say.
Professor, what are you doing? Here, talk in the microphone.
You're not on camera, Professor. You need to get yourself on camera.
Did we invite you in here? We're not gonna get to the question of the day.
No. I'm helping you with
the question of the day. No, we haven't got to it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that's what's coming up. That's what's coming up. Okay. Give the professor. Professor, I need you to get back on your side of the studio. Give the professor a microphone. Okay, let me do my check-in.
Well, please
This is sheer madness today. Between
this
the
is
echo,
the last show of the year.
between the echo, the ADHD symptoms, you and the heater, you and the professor. The professor's over here. He ready to answer the question of the day. Okay, we ain't even got to it yet. This is what happens when we have not done a show in a while.
Yes, what have it been? Like 2 weeks? Yeah,
It's been seemed like 3 weeks, and don't. I'm the only person in here who knows what they're doing right now.
Well,
Because clearly nobody else knows what they are doing up
well,
here.
the professor over here trying to take over. Did
Okay.
you read the headline? This is JP and Stacy D show. There's no professor in there.
Listen, but I can't wait to hear what the professor has to say, because this question of the day is something that comes up all the time in therapy with couples. You'll have one who's like, no, we're going to talk about this right now. You got the other one who's like, you're going to talk about it by yourself because I'm out of here.
Because I'm out of here.
Right.
That's
okay.
me.
So we're going to get to that. So, Professor, be ready, because clearly the professor's probably the one who be walking off. Okay.
And we're going to put a time limit on the professor, too.
Okay, here's my check-in. I'm entering my 25th next year. I'm so excited. Is going to mark my 25th year as a therapist.
What we going to do?
I'm going to do big things to commemorate this, okay? One of which should prevent me from having to ever retire. Because here's the thing.
I don't think we have to.
I'm one of those people who would drop dead after retiring.
I think I would, too.
I don't think self-employed people
This is the last show of the year. We got
I'm gonna
the green. It's the green. It's the green room.
green screen. Hold up. Listen. I need for the audience to know how ridiculous it is up in here today. Why did that green screen collapse to the ground? Okay.
The engineer is off the chain. The whole studio is off the chain today.
I am the only person who knows what they're doing today. All right. So I was thinking, you know how people who have employers, they are counting down to retirement. They start counting down like on their 40th birthday. But self-employed people, I don't think we have that same attitude when it comes to retiring, because one, we work for the best person in the world. Ourselves. So we have the best employer. Mm-hmm. We determine our schedule. We determine our wages. So I'm not looking forward to retirement.
Same here.
I am always going to I might work less, but I can't just totally
because after 65, if you retire, I think it's going to be 68 and a half for us, that we can make as much money as we want to after 68 and a half. But we are more healthier.
Yes, and we are like politicians and actors and actresses and singers. Them people never retire because they love what they do.
They love what they do. It's not a job.
That's it.
It's not a job.
And sometimes, especially if I have a day where I've seen kids all day, sometimes I'm so moved. I still can't hardly. The kids will bring you to tears. At the end of the day, it's like, I can't believe I'm actually going to collect wages for spending the whole day with these incredible kids. And I love my adult clients too, because I know I got some adult clients that watch the show and listen to the show. I ain't leaving y'all out. I love my adult clients too, but the kids are the ones that I can't imagine retiring and like not working with kids. And so one of the big things that I'm planning to commemorate my 25th year is I have a plan that's going to prevent me from ever having to retire, but I'm not going to give the specifics on it yet. Here's the other thing. For those of us who continue to work on some level, we retain better cognitive functioning, because a lot of people who retire.
Oh, after they retire,
your brain isn't
You're not use. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Exactly. And I need to stay sharp. Okay.
You sure better with Sasha Pooh, because she going to be running game on y'all.
Not me, because I'm going to stay sharp. Okay. And so,
she going to be in the bins, because mind you might have a Rolls Royce by then.
She's got her own
sneak in. She going to sneak in and out the bins, and y'all not even going to know it's been gone.
She mess with me, she gonna be still driving them miniature business when she's 16. Don't come for me. My baby love her Benz. She got 3 Benzes now. Okay, got her SUV. All right, and so that's what I'm thinking about is how, retaining cognitive functioning and that whole thing by staying busy, staying active, keeping your brain working. Now, let's get to mental health and illness in the news. Over the past 25 years, they have discovered so much more about the brain.
That is true.
Compared to what they knew 25 years ago when I came out of school. Okay? And here's...
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, because now you got me thinking, because, okay.
Whatever you learned is old, and you need to learn all the new stuff.
I came out in 2001. With my master's.
Neuroscience.
Wow. Oh, you just had a class on that.
A long way. Oh, I'm doing multiple classes. I'm submerging myself in it. And so what I'm going to do is, under mental health and illness in the news, in addition to a regular news story, I'm going to be doing a series on brain health. Because here is something that they have discovered. Oh, listen to this, D. I got some good stuff. It was once believed that as we get older, our brain ages and it begins to deteriorate. Mm-hmm. But what they have learned is that there is what they call plasticity, neuroscience, brain plasticity, which means our brains can actually continue to develop until we die, if you take good care of it.
So if you hadn't had a TBI, you might not be in there.
I'm not talking about those of you who have had TBIs. Okay. Actually, if you've had a traumatic brain injury, you can do some things to help heal your brain also.
Okay. Let's hear about those.
Here's something to think about. Okay. When it comes to the brain, here are some things you can do. Now, you should stay sharp, too, because you're going to be working like me. Okay?
No, I'm listening.
And so we keeping everything fired. But check this out. Andrew Newberg, doctor, MD, wrote a book called How God Changes Your Brain. Now, let me say this right off the bat. What I'm about to present is evidence-based research. All right? So I'm not presenting anything that has not been studied and restudied and restudied and restudied to prove that it is true. Here are some things that can be done to keep your brain in tip-top shape and to keep it developing, okay? Smiling.
Oh, I do that a lot.
Oh, yes, because you love to smile.
Mm-hmm.
When you smile, it releases positive hormones from your adrenal glands, which are housed in the limbic system. And when you look at a person who is smiling, see me looking at you, D, right now, it's releasing positive hormones in me. And they, you shared them. She's physically sharing them. She's physically giving me the positive vibes. Okay, give me the positive vibes. They have shown when you look into the face of a happy, pleasant person, it elevates your mood. And your mood, as I was saying before, our mood and behavior is controlled in the limbic system part of our brain, which houses the amygdala, which is where your emotions and behavior. Now, something else to think about, and be careful about who you surround yourself with, because when we look in the face of someone who is angry or sad, that negatively affects.
Oh.
So those
toxic people.
You can't have a lot of toxic people in your world because
Get on up off of me.
because yes, it negatively affects
Yes, I believe
your
that.
mood and your brain. Okay, the next one, stay intellectually active, which is what we talked about, because when you're working, you're thinking. And I have had clients who have come to therapy depressed because they retired and they don't feel like their life has purpose anymore. They drop down into depression. Okay,
Stop. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I knew a gentleman who worked for the UG until he was 87 years old, and they made him retire. 6 months later, he died. He had cancer. He had fought cancer out 2, maybe 3 times.
They killed him. They killed him.
But it was tired. It was time though.
Okay, but he
was only working part time.
Probably could have lived to be 90 something.
He probably could
All he
have.
needed was a
87.
little bit of work. You don't have to work 40 hours a week, especially if you're 80 some years old.
Yeah, I think he started working part time when he hit 85 or something like that.
Let an old person do a good 5-10 hours a week. He wasn't bothering anybody. He wasn't costing them a ton of money. And so staying intellectually active for those of us who have aging parents, okay, you want to keep them intellectually active if they are not
Doing
still working.
Something.
Okay, they need to be watching the news, CNN,
Crossword
and HLN. They need, yes, all of those
Word
things.
searches. Yes.
And the next one, dialogue with other people. Talk to your old people. But
That's good.
It needs to be somewhat challenging dialogue. Like they need to have dialogue with people who don't agree with them on every single thing. A little bit of a debate.
That's my
promotes
daddy.
Good brain health.
That's my daddy. He debate
keeps-
about everything.
It keeps your prefrontal cortex in peak condition. You got to not only watch the news with them, but you got to talk about what's on there. Engage in some discussion in order to keep their brain healthy. Here's the next one. Consciously relax. Force yourself to relax and just chill. This is something I want you to work on, D, for the sake of your brain, because you work a lot. You run a lot of businesses. You be up all hours of the night, all hours of the night.
What you talking to
don't
you?
make sense. Well, yeah, I'd be up too, but we talking about you, D. We talking about you. I'm sharing neuroscience with you, okay?
Okay.
But we do need to, for the sake of our brains, we do need to start going to bed, okay?
At what time? Because I go to bed like at 8 o'clock.
We are texting at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Because I done woke up by then. I only need 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours of sleep.
I'm going to bed at 3 or 4.
Well, I'm just waking back up.
Okay. Getting relaxation. Meditate.
Now,
Meditation
that might
helps
be
the
a good
brain.
one.
Yes.
I need to start doing that
And
one.
for those of you who are not sure how to meditate, get on YouTube, listen to something that, and we can cover that one day on the show.
Oh, that'd be real good.
Engage in aerobic exercise, because aerobic exercise, it results in the intake of more oxygen, which feeds the brain.
Oxygen feeds the brain.
Yes. If your elderly loved ones are unable to do the leg
They can do
portion,
chair.
like doing all this knee challenge mess that the D was doing, because that was
get on up
aerobic
in it.
exercise.
It sure was.
But there are, what'd you just say?
Chair aerobics, chair yoga. It's all type of chair things now.
Something to get the heart rate up.
That's all it is. It's about the heart rate.
To be taking in that oxygen. They don't have to be, doing the knee challenge with the D or running, or they'll need, just get the body moving. Get the heart rate up. Get the oxygen coming in. Okay? Now, here's the next one. Maintain faith. Positive belief system in things that you cannot factually prove. Now, this is not just faith in the Lord, okay? Because they are saying you need to, this actually helps our brain to stay fully functioning, believing in something. Positive, though, not negative things. So those of you out there who worship the devil, we're not talking about you. That's tearing up your brain, okay? You killing brain cells, worshiping the devil. But believing in something positive, but believing in not only faith-based, but just believing in people. Having people in your life that you believe in their ability to be good people, to do better, to move forward. See, this is where our work in social services comes in. We work with clients and we believe in their ability to get better.
To get better.
And that
because we have to be the first one to believe in it.
Exactly. And that helps our brain to stay fully functional.
I guess that's why we're going to keep on being social workers.
Because everything we covering, me and the D are trying to prevent ourselves from getting Alzheimer's.
Not getting Alzheimer's. Even though my grandmother had it, I don't believe it's genetic.
Trying to prevent Alzheimer's by keeping your brain functioning. Now, this next one is going to surprise you a little bit. Guess what bodily function helps the brain?
The heart.
It's a specific function.
Going to the bathroom?
No. Going to the bathroom, some people pass out during bowel movements because it...
And have heart attacks.
It cuts off some blood flow sometimes.
Really?
And
like when you have a stopper or something?
Well, or just straining too hard or something. And
yeah, that's when you have a stopper.
Have shown up. And
did you know what
people have died on the
what
toilet.
A stopper is? One of our classmates did. You know what a stopper is?
I'll assume you're talking about somebody who's constipated.
Yeah.
Why is it called a stopper, though? Is that a new term for constipated?
That's what my great-grandma used to call it. You got a stopper because it's stopping it.
Oh, Lord. Grandmother, please. Okay.
That's so funny when you think back about that. That is so funny.
Okay. I need for y'all to pay close attention.
Okay, close attention.
This is something that helps your brain. Yawning. Before you question this, there are over 35 studies that show that yawning helps our brain to stay fully functioning. It helps with the plasticity, the continued development and growth of the brain. Here's how yawning helps your brain. It stimulates alertness and concentration. So for people who have ADHD, you need to yawn. Don't suppress your yawn when you get tired, D. Don't do it. To avoid hurting people's feelings because you don't want them to think that you're bored. Go on and yawn in their face.
I'll be bored and I'll get up and start walking around or I'm going to go to sleep. That's why I used to sit in the back. Now we don't have to sit in the back because everything's on Zoom.
When you need to yawn. It increases and stimulates alertness and concentration. That sounded like she's bored with what I'm saying, though. We might have to skip yawning for you. We might have to skip yawning for you. Okay, here's what else yawning does. It optimizes brain activity and metabolism. It improves cognitive functioning, your prefrontal cortex. It increases memory recall. Yes, you help your memory by yawning. Yes.
I don't yawn that often either.
Really? I yawn a lot.
I don't.
I'll be tired.
I don't yawn.
Enhances consciousness and introspection. Lowers stress. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Relaxes every part of your body. And if you can stretch and yawn.
Oh, that's one of them good ones.
Oh, when you. And yawn.
You done got bored yourself.
Yes. Okay. So stretching and yawning. Okay. Improves voluntary muscle control, enhances athletic skill, fine-tunes your sense of time. And this is why I probably need to yawn more because I do not track time very well at all. Increases empathy and social awareness. Just talking about yawning, and you are yawning like crazy, D.
I know, really.
Increases empathy and social awareness from yawning.
Oh, that's a
enhances
lot of stuff with yawning.
pleasure and sensuality.
So when you having sex, you start yawning. I don't think they're like that.
I don't think that.
I'm like, hold on.
Listen. Although yawning enhances pleasure and sensuality, I do not suggest yawning while you in the middle of
getting it down,
because you gonna end up in the bed by yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Or kicked out the bed.
you would need to explain to your partner, listen, I'm gonna yawn while we doing what we doing. It's to increase pleasure and sensuality. I'm not bored with what we doing right now. But ain't nobody gonna believe that. You need to hold that yawn. Yawn beforehand. Go in the bathroom and yawn in privacy. And then come out there and do what you gonna do. Okay, so all of this are things that we can do to keep our brain developing, to keep it from deteriorating. That's something, D?
That really is about that yawning.
35 studies, evidence-based. That yawning, actually, I thought yawning was a useless...
I did too.
I did not know the purpose of yawning except annoying the crap out of people and making them feel offended. But apparently...
I'm going to start yawning all the time then.
You just yawned real good. Okay, let's get to the question of the day.
Do we have time?
Yes, we do.
Okay, Professor, are you ready? Because you've been trying to get up in here since the beginning.
The professor wants to answer the question of the day. Question of the day. My husband gets angry and then shuts down or walks out. How can I get him to face up to our issues instead of running away? Now, D or Professor, either one of y'all go first. What are your thoughts? What is your answer to this question? From this viewer?
Since we have a guest in the house,
the professor ain't no guest. He supposed to be back there working.
Yeah.
But he trying to get on camera and answer questions.
Come on.
Professor, come on. You got a mic?
How you doing? This is Professor here,
We got the
and I'm on.
and you what? You all?
I'm on Stacy and Gerald's
Cognition
show.
And you about to speak the unspeakable.
So, about to speak the unspeakable. I think that having a conversation, it just depends on how you deliver your message. You remember how, what's that when they showed Bobby and Whitney Houston and she's screaming out? I just think it's your tone, how you talk to people. Some people respond different. If you're the type that talks real loud and they talk real loud, maybe y'all get along just fine. But anytime you're having a conversation or you trying to present yourself, and then are you the type that before someone can answer a question, you interrupt and don't let them get a chance to talk? So I think that has a lot to do with male and female, how you know, in an argument or anything. And especially if you're in a relationship, you already know, you got experience, you know how they carry on conversations.
Right.
So sometimes even before you get to the point where, you know, you're answering a question, you already have in your mind, this is the way they talk to me all the time.
So basically what the professor is saying is if you don't want somebody walking out on you, talk to them like you got some sense.
But on the other hand...
Am I right?
Now he go on the other hand.
But
That's why he don't get to come on the show.
they like to argue.
Because I summed up what he said in one sentence.
And some people, it's, you know, and it depends on who you're talking to. Because some people, that's the way they talk.
But if the person is shutting down and walking away, you might need to work on your communication style.
Yeah.
If you trying to conclude something with them, you trying to get closure, you trying to resolve a conflict, and they're walking away, you don't get to say, well, that's just how I talk, which is very common. A lot of people will say, well, that's just how I talk.
That's still unacceptable. That's
because
still
the other
unacceptable.
person has a right to say, you don't get to talk to me
like that.
though.
Exactly.
You coming in like that with all of that.
Exactly. All that loud talking, I most definitely believe that. We actually dealt with that in church when our pastor was like, but when you come to be a believer, you leave the old you out and you come in and get reborn and learn better ways how to do things.
Right.
Right. Okay, this is a PG-13 show?
Yes.
Okay.
You be calling people hoes and everything else.
Well, okay, and I just really believe.
And you don't curse, so whatever
No, I
you
don't
about to
cuss.
say is probably okay.
Okay.
I'm the one that had to screen myself.
Exactly. I believe, like in a marriage, I just think you should know your mate, and that's a wife speaking on towards her husband. And I just think that you just need to, and this came from my mother on my first marriage, and she was just like, you got to pick the right time to talk and how to deliver it. So y'all sitting at the kitchen table may not be the right time. Y'all sitting on the couch and your head is in his lap might be the right time.
Timing and delivery. Because
Yes.
the professor's talking about delivery, but what you're saying is time it better also.
Yeah, time it better. And sometimes you don't need to speak about it when it hits you. You might need to talk about it later on that night or even tomorrow.
Don't be fronting somebody in front of the whole family over Christmas dinner.
No, that's unacceptable. That's not a Proverbs 31 wife.
And we covered
Yes.
Proverbs 31.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people think, well, I'm upset.
You
I'm
fronting
going
on
to
me
address it
right now.
Well, wait a minute. We're in the middle of a restaurant. Or we in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner. Or like, why are you going off on me in front of all these people? Yes. I agree with what both of y'all are saying. Now, I actually received 2 questions on this, and I'm going to read the other one, which is from the male perspective.
Oh, let's hear what he said.
I'm not shutting down. I need some space. Stop trying to talk to me when I'm mad. My wife says that I'm avoidant because I refuse to process issues with her when we're angry and arguing. I need my space first to collect my thoughts. How do I explain this to her? We're going to answer both their questions. He's right. He is absolutely right.
And that's what I said. Sometimes you just need to
Yes.
talk about
Now,
it another time.
here's I'm going to, because I know that some of our listeners who are listening to this are not in agreement with what I'm saying, but I'm going to present the neuroscience on this.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever had a conflict with somebody? You lucky yawning is acceptable. You lucky yawning is acceptable. Okay, but listen, I want y'all to think about
Okay,
this.
okay,
Have
fine.
you ever had an argument with somebody, and then after the argument, you start thinking about, oh, I should have said this, and I should have said
that.
oh, I can't believe I ought to call him. Has that ever happened?
All the time.
Guess why that happens? Because the brain, the prefrontal cortex, which is where all of our planning, why is your phone not on vibrate?
I forgot.
Your planning, your negotiations, your conflict resolution, logic and reason takes place in the prefrontal cortex. Our emotions and our behavior is controlled by a whole other part of the brain, which is your limbic system, which houses the amygdala, which controls our emotions. And then our emotions control our behavior. Well, what happens with these 2 parts of the brain is that they take up so much energy that when you are all emotional, worked up, it pulls blood away from the prefrontal cortex, and that's the reason why you don't think about all those things that you should have said.
All those points.
During the argument. Later, after the argument is over, and you start having all these thoughts of what you should have said, is because you have calmed down, and the blood is flowing back away from the limbic system into your prefrontal cortex. We are literally smarter when we are calmer.
Oh, most definitely.
And the term going crazy and the insanity plea that people used to be able to get away with, because back in the day, people could, you know how a person would black out and be standing over a dead body and they would plead the insanity plea and be like, I don't know what happened.
I gets like that.
It is because there's no blood coming to your prefrontal cortex. You are running on emotion. Now, people are not able to get away with the insanity plea anymore or say that they went crazy, because the way the court looks at it now is, no, you need to accept responsibility for calming yourself the hell down so that your prefrontal cortex can still tell you that it ain't okay to kill. Mm-hmm. You can't act on all that emotion. And so when a spouse is trying to escape this argument and walk away,
Let him go.
it's because he is not in his smartest place.
But he is being good because he's walking away before you cannot take words back.
And he's walking away before he starts acting on his emotions, because the emotions and the behavior are both controlled by the limbic system, and our thoughts dictate what our behavior is.
And believe it or not, he's really being a great husband in taking and removing himself from the escalated position. You really should be happy that you have that type of man, because it is some men that lashes out and it becomes very verbal and very
physically abusive.
Yes. So she needs to be like, thank Lord, maybe I need to look at myself a little bit. Sorry, but it's the right thing.
It really is. And I'm so glad that we're talking about this, because this comes up in therapy all the time with my couples sessions. I will have one person who is like, no, we need to talk about it right then. I'm tired of them walking away when I'm trying to talk. And the other person is like, I'm not able to do all that. I'm willing to come back.
Let me walk away. Please let me walk away.
Right.
Please let me walk away.
Because when I come back, then I'm going to be able to settle this with you. But you want to settle it right now while we both hollering and screaming and cussing.
Hot-headed.
I'm not doing all of that.
That's me. I'm not doing that.
And so it wasn't until I started explaining to couples that it's been scientifically proven that we are smarter when we are calmer, because more blood is flowing to our prefrontal cortex. That's the only way I've been able to get people to stop doing that. Because for years, just trying to get them to see it from the perspective of it's disrespectful, or like the professor saying, you can't talk to people that way, or like you're saying, people don't care about that. When people mad
now,
they're like, I don't care about none of that. We're going to settle this right now. But explaining to them, well, you can force your spouse to deal with it right then, but you're not dealing with them in a state of mind where they're really able to process and give
not
you
gonna
their
soak
best.
It up. Exactly.
And it's a waste of time. So let them calm down.
That's how windows get broken.
Yes.
Door handles get broken.
Because a lot of times that is what happens.
Bedroom doors get kicked in.
Yes, because I see a lot of couples, because the one who's wanting to go off right then will block the door and prevent the other one from leaving. Then their limbic system gets crazy. They like, then it's on. Because now I'm cornered. I'm cornered.
So you gonna make me do this?
We are gonna fight.
Yeah, let's get it on then.
And so what I have to explain to them is, okay, so you were successful at forcing them to deal with this, but how did it end up going better?
It didn't. It got worse.
You sitting here with a black eye right now.
Yeah.
So was it a good idea to force
and he might be in the hospital because he done got stabbed.
Right. Because you were determined, we gonna deal with it right now. We gonna deal with it right. You can't do that.
Can't do that.
And here's the thing about acting on emotions. Because the way to control our emotions and our behavior is for our prefrontal cortex to be fully functioning, so that we can use our thoughts to manage our emotions. Because if I'm thinking, this person, let's say I'm out in public and somebody bumps into me. If my thought is, they bumped into me to be disrespectful, they see me standing here, but I'm a black man in America.
You didn't look at it's crowded.
Right. Those thoughts lead to the feeling of anger. Those thoughts coming from the prefrontal cortex leads to the feeling of anger in the amygdala, which then results in you punching somebody in the face. But if instead you think, okay, maybe they didn't see me, they may be preoccupied, they may be in a rush.
Or guess what? Maybe they're just rude, but I got myself under control. And I don't know you, so it's not personal. I don't even know you. And you walk away.
Even if they are just rude. Control your damn
Control
thoughts.
yourself.
Because when you control your thoughts, you're able to control your feelings. So instead of having thoughts that create anger, you end up having thoughts that just create whatever a stabilized mood that you would typically be in. And so instead of it leading to the behavior of punching somebody in the face, you go on over to the produce section and keep picking produce.
So, Gerald.
Yes, Professor.
We're leaving out another example.
Oh, did I miss some neuroscience on this,
What
Professor?
about
Remember, you're a guest now.
just sits there and doesn't say anything? And the first thing are you listening to anything I'm saying? Because it's going in one ear and going out the other.
It's really not going in. It's going in, but it's not coming out though.
You're talking
That's
about people who
passing.
shut down and don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Yeah. It's hard to tell because I have some clients who say, well, I shut down and stopped verbalizing things because I was getting yelled at and cussed at and I couldn't leave. So I was just done. It doesn't mean they're not listening. Now, some people are tuning you out. But in a way, it might be a defense mechanism because you coming at them so hot and heavy that because our brain is designed to protect us. So if the brain causes that person to shut down and go to some peaceful place where they ain't paying attention to you, it's because you are assaulting their psyche.
But you don't necessarily have to how you present, a verbal manner where you being aggressive or loud, if they don't really want to hear what you got to say.
Well, that's a totally different situation. Yeah, that's a person who is just, even if you're talking calmly to them, even if you're being rational, even if you're trying to do problem solving and conflict resolution and they're still ignoring you, that's a person who just is not open to doing problem solving and conflict, which is a whole separate problem.
Yeah, it's totally something.
Because then you need to kind of take a look at your choice and mates. If they're not willing to do problem solving, because you can't have a successful relationship without being able to do problem solving.
Some type of communication.
You have to be able to communicate.
Have to.
So yeah, that's a separate issue. I'm talking about people where one person's wanting to fight it out.
Oh, okay.
And the other person is retreating.
That's what they're doing.
Yes.
So they're being the punk. And I'm punking out for the love of us. See, people don't understand that. I'm punking out for the love of us because this can go real, real bad.
Right.
And that's why me and my last husband, he would go downstairs, I would go to my bedroom, and we would just put both ourselves in timeout.
Perfect.
Don't leave the house because this is our house.
Right.
And then we'll come back and talk about it. We wouldn't go to bed mad.
Okay.
So we would talk it out, and I'll calm down. He'll calm down, and believe it or not, I would be the first to make the move because I done left the situation. So I would come in, and I'll rub his head or sit on his lap, and then we'll discuss it. But we both are calm and
smarter. The calmer you are, the more intelligent you are, because your prefrontal cortex is fully functioning. All the blood flow is there. So that's what I want our listeners and our viewers to remember. Please try to be calm during disputes with people. You are your smartest self when you are calm anyway. So calm the hell down. And if a person you're talking to is wanting some space for them to calm down, give them that space.
Give them that space.
Right.
I promise you to be better.
A lot better.
Because the verbal abuse that you might get, I promise you, you don't want it. So leave me alone. Leave me alone. Because, I have a problem with keeping my hands to myself anyway. And that's the reason why I walk away.
Yeah, because the emotions lead to the behavior. Next thing you know,
and lead to the beat down.
Punching. The D is punching. Right.
Period.
All right. That's our show for today. Thank you all for joining us.
Hold on a minute.
The Professor.
Mr. Professor, you have any last closing remarks?
Yeah, Drew, I was just going to ask you.
I was just playing. I'm yawning.
Studies where sometimes
That's yawning, Professor.
Where sometimes in these arguments, and maybe they won't lash out at their spouse, but then later on, that anger buildup could pass on to someone else. The first person.
Displaced anger.
That's what that is. Displaced anger.
Yeah, that's displaced anger, and that gets into people needing to learn how to calm themselves.
Anger management.
Proper anger management.
I went to that class before.
And calming themselves, even simple calming.
And I have taught it.
Oh yeah, we should teach anger management classes.
Take a major all the time.
Yeah, learning how to calm yourself so that you do not displace your anger for those people who don't know how to compartmentalize. Ideally, a person who has good emotional intelligence is able to compartmentalize where you may be upset with your spouse, but you don't go in the room and take it out on the kid. You snapping at the kids, get up. Da, 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 da.
Oh, a lot of people do that though. A lot of people do that.
So that's what you're talking about, Professor, is displaced anger, which is an anger management issue, and people have to learn how to manage their anger. Because I'm able to go from one situation, and as therapists, we do that because we see clients every hour on the hour. So whatever I'm dealing with at 12 o'clock, come 1 o'clock, I can't bring that into somebody else's session. I have to be able to shut it off and start fresh and anew with the next person. And that's what we need to be willing to do for our loved ones. Just because you're mad at one person in your house, don't take it out on everybody in your house. Deal with your anger, get yourself under control, calm yourself so that you don't displace. Right.
Well, I will never ask the professor, do you have any closing remarks again? JP, go ahead and take us up out of here.
That's our show for today. Thank you all. He's yawning. Thank you all for joining us. And remember, worry about nothing.
And pray about everything. And Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you next year.
Yes.
Mwah.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye now.